I've won the fight. I've won. You know what I mean? I am not a judge. I'm a fighter.
It was only because of the margin that makes it so controversial. It's nothing to do with his performance. Yeah, we want to fight again. Everybody wants to fight again. Let's get the rematch on. Let's give Kiko the respect he finally deserved. He doesn't need to ask for the rematch. We want to give him the rematch.
The only time I decide if I win if I knock you out, because then I've won. No one can't tell me nothing.
Hello and welcome to the Black Flash Boxing channel. I'm Abs from October Red, and today we're joined by Zelfa Barrett and his uncle and trainer, Pat Barrett. Welcome to the show.
Hi guys, you okay?
Yeah, are you? Yeah. Okay. We're going to get straight into it. We've come off the weekend after you win with Kiko Martinez. And I just want to go through the fight. There's some questions. There's some controversy, but I just want to take you back to Saturday the 13th. Talk me through that fight.
So, wicked arena, good build up to the fight, buzzing fighting, former world champion Kiko Martinez, been watching him since I was younger, watching him against Frampton, so thrilled for the fight, excited, and come 9 o'clock. Into the ring, ready. First bell went, put pressure on. Intelligent pressure is looking, figuring him out, hitting him with some jabs, feinting, looking, and just having a look at him, because I know he starts fast. Yeah. So I'm being switched on because he starts fast, and got through round one. Pat had a word with me, look, keep doing this, keep doing that. Feinting, whatever, this, that, the other. Yeah. Round two, come out, hitting him with some jabs, feinting, looking. If he caught me with a shot, and I was stepping back to it at the same time, and then the rope, so I fell on the ropes, caught me with a good right hand. Didn't even hurt, just caught me with a good shot. Okay. Head was clear, movement, keep him moving, keep him vigilant, keep my mind active, focused. Mm-hmm. And from there, I was just working at my game plan still, because I know this guy's a very experienced fighter, and not that I'm working at my game plan, I'm working how to figure out on him, you know what I mean? Because everyone has a game plan, like my test, until you get hit in the face, and the game plan goes out the window, which is so true. You can train so hard and do whatever you want in training, but when you get hit and you get hurt, it can be like, wow, I'm changing this, I'm doing what I need to do, which that wasn't the case, so I'm hitting and moving. Doing a few things, what me and Uncle Pat spoke about since the fight, which I shouldn't have been doing, giving room and whatever. Could have held my feet a bit more, but I was still figuring him out. And then, I just was catching him with some jabs and boxing the way I needed to box. And that was it from like round two upwards. And then he was putting pressure on, mad pressure. Credit to him, because that's the only way he knows. He's not going to come out and outbox me. He's going to put pressure on me. So, he's putting a lot of pressure on and doing what he needs to do well, which works for him. Yeah. And I was doing what works for me, hitting and moving, stagnating, moving, hitting, looking, catching a lot of shots on the gloves too. A lot of punches, catching the arms and blocking a lot of shots. He's getting through with a few shots, but it's boxing. When you get a shower, you're going to get wet. It's boxing, So, yeah. And then as the fight was getting closer, like to the end of the rounds, and say round 8, 9, I could feel him getting closer to me. I could feel the pressure, and I felt like if I'm gonna box this guy and try and hit him with the uppercuts as he's coming in. Went back to the corner. Step back a minute. I got cut. Clash of heads.
Yeah, talk to me about that.
On the ropes, I got cut.
Yeah.
What an experience. Never been cut before. One has heard about it from my Uncle Pat and other fighters, what it feels like. I just felt like a warm sensation. Like my Uncle Pat even told me, like, if you ever get cut, it's just like a warm sensation. Felt like a warm sensation coming down my face, Just, you can see, I'm not wearing glasses to look good. It's just covering my face. Don't want to scare kids. But, got cut. Warm sensation. So I'm dabbing, and the guy, credit to Kiko, he's a true gentleman, true professional. Don't know if he meant it or not, might have. But he's like, in the ring, he said sorry straight away. Like, yo, sorry, bro. Like, and at the time, straight away.
Okay.
Because I dabbed my head, and he's just the clearest English I've ever heard him speak. He said, sorry. So he's like, yeah, man, no danger. Carried on boxing, but I made him thinking, not letting his fight get stopped on a cut, not a chance. So I'm kind of like keeping my right hand up and I'm touching to see how bad it is. And not that it threw me off, it didn't throw me, it was new to me, foreign, never been cut before. So I'm moving hand high, trying not to get hit as much so I can go back to the corner so it can be sorted, so I know how bad it is. Because if Pat says, listen, it's a bad cut, this, you need to go out here and win this go and win this fight, and you've only got a chance to win this fight, and I'll be by beating him because he got a cut. Then that was me in my head. Plan A, plan B. Right, if it's not that bad, I can still box. If it's not that bad, I'm not going to go to his right because he's going to fall left hook and it's going to open it more. If I defend it and it's going to open it. So a lot of things was going through my head in a split second, but I was keeping real cool, calm, you know. Went back to the corner. My uncle Pat done a fantastic job. Stopped it from bleeding and whatever. Yeah. And then, you know, we got to like, what was it, 10, 11, 12, round 9. Pat was like, listen, you need to box this guy now, you know. You need to box this guy and keep moving, keep hitting and moving and keep looking for the right shots and whatever. So I just pulled myself together because I was under a lot of pressure. Former world champion, he knew what he was doing. Yeah. So you know, I had to just mentally be strong and think, this guy, you're not beating me. You're not beating me. And listen to instructions my Uncle Pat was saying. If you listen to the fight, if you can hear my uncle, what he was saying, shouting, I was doing every single instruction in that fight. If he told me to do a backflip in the middle of the ring, I would have done a backflip in the middle of the ring because I was listening to him, because his experience, he's my coach. So I was just working to what he was telling me to do, you know, and I executed it. He was putting a lot of pressure on. He was hitting a lot of gloves, he was getting through, but, you know, I was hitting a lot too. A lot of jabs, feinting, combination punches. I was putting my punches together later on in the fight, you know what I mean, because I felt like I needed to, because it was getting too close to comfort. And from when my Uncle Pat said to me, listen, it's getting close. I said, am I winning? He goes, yeah, you're winning. He said, listen, it's getting closer now. Alarm bells in my head. Hell no, I'm not letting this get close. I've heard that before. I've heard that too many times in the fight before. It's getting close. So I had to execute what I had to do. All the hard training I've been doing, all the hard sprints, all the bag work, all coming to play in from them last 4 or 5 rounds. Letting my hands go, looking, being vigilant. The words that never leave my head is work how you worked in round 1. This is round 1 now. Me and Uncle Pat kept telling me, this is round 1 now. Work. So I had to find that jab. Bam! I had to find everything, you know, because I'm not in the ring with a duck egg. I'm in the ring with an experienced ex-world champion who smells blood. He's had more knockouts than I've had fights. Yo, the guy, he's had more rounds than I've had, like, so I don't know how many rounds he had, but I went like, 30, 40 rounds or something. He's had hundreds, like, so I'm not in the ring with no like British level fight or a level of fight. I'm in a ring with the best, a veteran. That's the key word, a veteran who has been there, got the scars, and knows how to hunt and get his food. And, you know, so I've had to find myself with my Uncle Pat. But I had to find myself and execute what I had to do. Because it's all easy saying, do it. I had to find it and I had to do it. And I've done it, you know, and I wasn't scared. I was not scared. I took risks. I was not scared to be like, oh, I don't want to do this because I'm going to get caught. Oh, I don't want to do this because I might get caught. Okay, so what? This is what I need to do to win, and I'm going to do it. And, you know, what I would jump on here is that one thing Kiko Martinez didn't get is the credit. Because at the end of the day, he pushed me. And you can all see my face, his marks, and that was a clash of heads. But, like, he pushed me, you know, and he deserved the credit for that. The scorecard was wide, you know what I mean? And when he mentioned it, I looked at my Uncle Pat. I swear, you look at the, I was like, huh? Yeah. Like, thinking, don't tell me you've robbed me now. Or, I just didn't know what to think, because I thought, that's a big scorecard. you know, and because I'm a true professional and I'm not a liar, I know that, hey, I didn't win that much. It was a good fight and he was in the fight, but I didn't. He had rounds where he put pressure onto me, you know what I mean? So it wasn't a one-sided fight where the scorecards might have had it like that, you know. But then again, it's shoot and don't shoot, what people like and what people don't like. He was hitting a lot of gloves. I was throwing a lot of punches, you know. It's one of them ones where, but I just know Kiko Martinez pushed me, and I know that he deserved more than the credit that the scorecards give him. I know that personally. That's from me being in the ring with him. I know that, you know what I mean. So I just believe that, you know, I know I won the fight. I know deep down, hand in my heart, I won the fight, and I didn't win by no long race. No, I won by a couple rounds, a short margin, but I did win. That's one thing I will say. Kiko Martinez was in the fight, and Kiko Martinez is who he is, a former world champion, you know, and he needs the credit he deserves. But I know I won the fight. Deep down, hand on my heart, I won the fight, and I didn't win by a big margin. I had to find myself to win that, because if I didn't find it myself to win that, I would have got beat. You know
So
what I mean?
we touch on that, and we're moving into the later rounds.
Yeah. Okay.
You know, you're coming back out of the corner. Pat saying it's getting close. You're winning, but it's getting close, and you're thinking, okay, I've got to go out there and I've got to start to plant my feet and start to trade.
Yeah.
You know, you're known as a back foot fighter with very, very fast hands. You know, the predictions, I'll be selfish and say that a prediction of mine is that I expected you to KO him. I expected that hook to come in and for it to do the business. But I knew when we got past 6, it was going to become a slugfest, because Martinez is a pressure fighter. You mentioned that he said he come close. He was starting to get too close. Elaborate a bit on that.
Well, basically, like, he was landing with certain shots that he shouldn't be landing with.
Okay.
So, little right hands.
Yeah.
Hooks, listen, he jumps in with a hook.
He does.
Does that very well, you know, but, you know, he's landing with certain shots where I'm thinking, nah, you shouldn't really be hitting me with this. Listen, we get hits boxing, you know, and he's getting a bit too close to me now, where as a coach was telling me, listen, do what you got to do now, this, that, do, blah, 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 blah. And in my head, I'm thinking, nah, I'm a fighter too. Listen, I feel like you're taking the mick. Like, that's just how my mind is in the ring. So I had to let my hands go. And I did let my hands go, and I had to find it, because it's easy to get stuck into a routine of him coming and backing up and just picking off little shots. It's easy to do that. A lot of fighters have done that. Where I had to literally pull myself together. I'm like, listen, hit this guy. Forget about your cut. Nail this guy. Let him know who you're in the ring with. Let him know that this is no easy fight. You can just think. And I did do. And when I did do, I was wobbling him, I was catching him, I was hurting him, you know what I mean? And, you know, if it had to go 16 rounds, I would have went 16 rounds and would have kept it. Would have grew. And I had to pull myself together, because, you know, I'm in a ring with a veteran. That's the key word. I'm in it, not just a good fighter. He's been there. He's so experienced. You know, he's been at the top of the level, only been beat off the top of the level fighters. So I needed to show him something and show myself something. That, listen, and it did, you know, because every time I was hitting him, he stopped him in his tracks, you know what I mean? And I had to continue doing it. And I would have, if it would have added another 2 rounds, I would have done it. You know what I mean? Because I wasn't getting beat. I was not getting beat. Period. I was not getting beat. And that's what I've learned about myself, in that, you know, I've got put in the ring with a world level fighter. You know, and I can fight at that level. You know, I've just shown all the people that I can fight at that level, you know what I mean? And, you know, Kiko Martinez is a very good fighter.
So we're gonna pause there, because I want some input from Pat. We've walked through the fight. We're gonna talk about when it comes to, you know, the final bell, and we're looking at now the judges' decisions. But so far, I just want to get your take, Zelfa's told us about, you know, what's happened in the fight. He's walked us through all the rounds. Talk to us from the trainer point of view. Zelfa coming back in. He's mentioned the cut, the advice that you were giving him. Give us your side.
I first found it very hard that I knew that, you know, we went into this fight with a plan.
Yeah.
But what a lot of people don't realise, and before the fight, is it wasn't Kiko, it was somebody else, and it was somebody else. So Kiko was one of the last of 3 opponents that we should have had. Right. Now we spent time in camp for one fight that didn't take place, and that was that a 12-week camp?
Yeah, in December, yeah.
Yeah, we had a 12-week camp, and then find out he wasn't fighting until
a couple of days before,
yeah,
like a week or something.
And then so it was like it was down, and then we got ready for another kid that they got here, yeah, and then we got told that after so long that fight wasn't taking place, so he wasn't fighting till in the new year, and then they came up with a name a few weeks before, and I just said, you know what, Kiko Martinez. I looked at him and I thought, you know what, Zelfa is something like 23, 24 and 1. And I thought, if I'm going to test my nephew now, this is me being a trainer, not being an uncle. And I thought, this is going to be the fight. And I went back to him and said, listen, I've took the Kiko Martinez fight for you.
Never forget, it was on the sprints.
Yeah.
I didn't even know.
And he goes, it's like, wow. I said, listen, I believe you've got the ability to beat Kiko Martinez. But, you know, he's not going to be, this is going to be your toughest, easiest fight if you box the way I think you can box. Alternatively, I also let him know and let him be aware it's going to be your toughest and hardest fight, because Kiko Martinez is not no pushover. Not to somebody like you, because he's going to look at you and look on your resume and think, who's Zelfa Barrett for?
Boy to him.
He's not fought nobody. He's only fought Eusebio, the same guy I fought, and I beat him. Makes no difference. I fought world champions. I've been at world level. I've done this. I've done that. They literally underestimated Zelfa to the point that they just thought he's just a kid.
After 6 rounds.
Yeah. And we know what we're going to do. We're going to push him and we're going to grind him down. We're going to take him to deep waters and we're going to drown him. That's what their plan is. But anybody what fights Zelfa is going to try and do that anyway, because you can't really outbox Zelfa, because he's fast. He's a good counter puncher. He can think really well. He can box forward. He can box going backwards. You know, the only thing what Zelfa showed me in that fight was a bit of lack of experience. But the main thing what I got from Zelfa is what he got from that fight. Now when I come back with Zelfa, I could say, you're ready now. But he's still got a lot of learning fights to do. Maybe not for the world title, let's go for the European. Yeah, he's done Commonwealth. You can do British if you want, or you can do European. Yeah, I'm not pushing him to fight for the world title. That fight to me just tells me it was a great test. He's got a lot to learn. Yeah, and my thing of the fight, when I see it, I think, you know what, I'm proud of him. He boxed to instructions. I think it was for the last 4 rounds. Yeah, he literally did work to what I asked him to do, and what I asked him to do, like he said, I said, go back to the first round now, son, because this is where it was a point where some fighters, the body takes over the mind, where with him, his mind now took over the body. His body didn't want to do it. Yeah, his body was, because he was constantly moving, and he had to keep that severe thing going. You know what his body says? I don't want to do it no more. And if his body would have stopped, he would have got punished. But his mindset then took over now. This is like the sprints. This is like the last hills where I'm saying, right, you got, yeah, this is what it was down to. And this is where he said, you know what, let's go. Back to the first round, yeah, let's go with that jab. The jab don't get tired. Yeah, the body gets tired. The mind don't get tired. Then he started letting nice fast punches go. Yeah. While Kiko was tired through chasing, his speed was outdoing him. And he was catching him clean. Because if he would have been throwing tired punches, he would have been finished. But he didn't. He went, right, he took a deep breath. I seen him go, sagged into it and go, let's get that swagger back now. And then that was beautiful. And I'm saying, there you go, Zelfa. That's beautiful. That's what I want. Zigzag now. Because while he's coming this way, Zelfa's going there and there. And he couldn't aim to, yes. And then Zelfa then was throwing off that. But the only thing what he did wrong for me, he was trying to throw round the sides. He was looking for that check hook, which everyone's aware of that. If he would have, we worked on the gym to bring that check up the middle, check up the middle. And if he would have got onto that, Even at one point, he looked at me in the corner and goes, because he knew he was throwing the big
Yeah,
ups
yeah.
and they were going right over his head. And at some point, I'm one of them kind of crazy trainers. Me when a boxer makes the same mistake several times, now that's the time where I lose my cool. Yeah, because what are you doing, son? But I couldn't lose my cool in such a big fight because, again, he was more, what's the decision? Are we close? Yeah, and it was...
We're in the final
yeah,
rounds now.
yeah, and I had to remain calm and say, look, it's close. He knows what close means.
He knows he's got
Yeah.
a top,
The bell
the
just
trigger.
Yeah,
that bell just go close.
So he bit down onto his gum shield then, and he started rallying. And when he was rallying, I'm like, there you go. I'm like, I wanted to jump up. That's it. Come on, son. And I'm like, oh yeah. But I'm thinking, no, stay calm, because then he might lose his control now and just start throwing into go trade to trade. Yeah, and I'm thinking, look, you're winning this. Let's just steal the fight, and then I'll be happy with that, because I'm not lying. I'm nearly having a heart attack in the corner of me. I'm like nearly wanting to get the
Get the ammo.
yeah, but you know, he boxed well. He got through it, and I felt sorry for Kiko because it wasn't the decision that he rightfully deserved to have got. He didn't win it. Yeah. For instance, if Zelfa would have won it on a split decision, there would be no controversy. There'd be no what you call it. If Zelfa would have won it by 2 rounds, there'd be no this and that. It'd be like, well done, Zelfa, you won that. But unanimously, even I would say it was bad scoring. I think Zelfa got pushed to bring the best out of him. In my ways, I learned a lot about Zelfa. Zelfa learned a lot about himself. And it was Zelfa that said to me, you know what, Pat, I want to fight him again. I want the rematch. I'm not happy with this. So, in all fairness, I drove straight home from London. And as soon as I got home, I was up all night. And the first thing on the Sunday, I never ever get in touch with, I let his manager do it, but I phoned Eddie and myself, and I says, is Zelfa getting the rematch? Because I've heard it all before. They say something, same with Ronnie Clark. Is Zelfa going to get this rematch? And they went, yeah, he'll get the rematch. I said, no, is he going to get the rematch? Yeah, we'll make the rematch day, we'll get the rematch. And I said, right, that's all I need to know. Because he needs to make this clean, this win clean. Not like, even though I thought he won it, and I did 100% think he stole the fight, 1,000,000%, even if it wasn't by that. I swear now, no, I'm not talking no rubbish. You've got a lot of people out there. So what? You've got your own version. You've got your own, everybody says he won it. Some people says he lost it. Some people says, nah, it wasn't by that margin. It was only because of the margin that makes it so controversial. Yeah. It's nothing to do with his performance. Yeah. Most fighters, when they step up in class like this now and they've been put in the deep end, they drowned. Yeah, when they're getting punched in the face and they're getting hurt and they're getting hit like they've never been hit before and they've got a cut. Listen, he's never been in anything like that. He doesn't know what it's like to have a cut. He dealt with it. You can see some of the inexperience when he kept showing that there's something wrong in the ring. Or sometimes he'd dab his face. If he would have got out of the mirror, he probably would have looked in the mirror, see how bad his face is. Do you know what I mean? Because
bring one next time.
Sometimes it's like, wow, did it hit me in the face? I'm thinking, concentrate on the guy. But it's just the way it is. That's what we call lack of experience. And I'm so glad that I picked this fight for him. So I know the level of where he's at. Now I know him. Now I know the level where he's at. Now he knows himself. We can sit down now and say, you know what? This is how the future's going to be. Yeah, we want the fight again. Everybody wants to fight again. Let's get the rematch on. Let's give Kiko the respect he finally deserved. He doesn't need to ask for the rematch. We want to give him the rematch. And Zelfa would have given Ronnie Clark the rematch. Ronnie Clark did not, I want to clear this up, Ronnie Clark did not accept the rematch. I don't know why. He was walking around Scotland with the belt, thinking that he just beat a good kid. And he had done, and fair play. But by the time it come to it, I don't know what happened. He never fought again after Zelfa.
He hasn't, has he?
No. Listen, all we're interested in now is the rematch with Kiko. Yeah. And when we do that, yeah, if Ronnie Clark's got something great by then, we're not overlooking no one. We're not thinking we're that far ahead of the game. We're optionable to think, hey, anybody can catch us and anybody can be on our level and anybody can get close to us. We'll do what we normally do.
It's having that challenger mindset, isn't it? When you go into the fight, you go in there not necessarily as a champion, but as a challenger. You know, it's like you feel like you have that underdog mentality, so you've got to win.
It's just the mentality of winning. Like, it doesn't matter what it is, eating food fast, having a race with your little brother, it's just winning no matter what. And if there's a date set, you have to win. It doesn't matter who you're fighting. You could be fighting a guy who's lost all his fights. You still want to win because in your mind you're thinking, you can beat me, you can ruin my career, you can take this away from me, you can stop me from doing this, so all them alarm bells start triggering and you're going to win, you know what I mean? And I love a challenge. I'm about challenges, me. I remember one time in camp, said to me Uncle Pat after I've done all my pull-ups, what, so you think I can't do 30 pull-ups straight? No. I just wanted him to say no. And I've done it. And made me do the last two, again, because the last two wasn't straight. But I'm all about challenge. That's what makes me tick. I can get everything with someone good, but if they're not challenging me, it's like, disappointing. You know what I mean? And down to Kiko Martinez, the guy challenged me, man. And I just feel like, okay, now I want to fight you again. I want to fight you again because I've got something in my own self now to fight for me, to prove this guy that I beat you convincingly. You know what I mean? And, you know, that's just my thing. Everyone's different. You know?
I think he was deprived of his proper victory. I think what the judges did, I don't know why. Yeah, I think they deprived him of a win. I mean, he won it and they got it right, but they got it wrong within the rounds. Yeah, with the margin, they could have said it by, you know, split decision, you know what I mean, or whatever. But I don't care what anybody says. What he did, yeah, he did what champions do. He changed the course of a fight, yeah, and come back into it and started to beat box a different way where he wasn't just looking to win. He was looking to set things up. He was still thinking. He was still trying to get that timing, even to the point where he came back to the first round and said, okay, nice and poised, nice and relaxed, and was waiting and was catching him flush. And the last 4 rounds, he came into it again and took him easily. Do you know what I mean?
I was that focused, yeah, and I'm a Power Eagles man, admit. I am a proper, like, professional touch. Like, I even hit the guy after the bell. I didn't even hear the bell. I was like, bam, 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 and the bell went. And I just didn't care because
I think that was intentional.
I was that focused of winning, and it was because it was close when Pat said it. Nothing was registering. I've got to win. Got to hit this guy before he hits me. And the bell went, and the referee was like, and we looked at each other, and I thought, well, okay, my bad. But I thought to myself, we're in a fight, man. You know what I mean? And like I said, just credit to Kiko, man, and he needs the credit he deserves. And I want to fight him again. That's my next fight.
I mean, you say that a lot, and it is credit to him. And what it is by when he says credit to him, look, we feel like he was deprived. It's like even though we won, we feel like he was robbed. Yeah, and it's like, you know, when you have a victory, say like we have a victory, we either win by 12 rounds, like, and we beat somebody for 12 rounds, and we come away with the top oneself, or we have a win, we knock somebody out, everyone says brilliant knockout. Yeah, we have a win, and it's like, nah, we didn't get up. Like, what do you want us to do? So what we want to do is to set the record straight. Yeah. What you got to realize here is what I tell my nephew. Yeah. He's not the puncher that he thinks he is. What he's got to realize, he goes in the gym and he works, he learns. He's a timer. Yeah. He's a timer. He's a thinker. He's a smart fighter. And all of a sudden, he's like a Mike Tyson. And that's why I'm saying, no, don't look for. Where are you going looking for these knockouts, son? You're not setting them up.
Mm-hmm. Knockouts. Everybody has spoken about Zelfa's left hook. Everyone's banking on that left hook. Myself, as a fight fan included, that expectation that you was going to knock him out with that left hook.
Mm-hmm. You can knock him out with either hand, though. This is what I'm trying to say. You can knock him out with an uppercut. You can knock him out with a right hook. You see, what you don't realise here, when Zelfa's fought on a lot of my shows, he had the variety, and what I would call these knockouts, I call them sensational knockouts, because he was knocking kids out like going back in the 80s, knockouts that you don't see no more. Yeah. And people are only seeing these knockouts on TV. But if you go way back to the first time he's fighting on his uncle's shows, you'll see what kind of creator he was. He learned to set traps. He show you something and do something different. Mm-hmm. And this is what Zelfa's about. And then all of a sudden he stopped doing that, yeah, and started fighting for the glam now and like this and that. And that's where I come into it now and sit him down and pull him back in now and say, listen, right, enough's enough. You seen what happened here. You're not going to knock everybody out because he did not set no traps for Kiko. Even the commentator was saying the timing, he just needs the timing. He just needs to drop to the left and bring that up there and then the right uppercut. It's just little things that I knew what we worked on the pads and worked on in the gym. I'm like, why are you not doing them? Why, you know what I mean? But in his head, he knew he's got the power. But I keep telling him, you've not got that ferocious power. I know he can hit. He's probably one of the hardest hitting super featherweights in the country. But it comes with timing. His speed is his key. That jabs and that, he picks the lock with that jab. He sets things up. He's very creative. He's like watching something magical. In the gym, when I watch Zelfa, I'm like, he flows. It's like we could watch him all day long. He's like the magic kid. Everybody what comes in the gym, just stop. Wow, he's brilliant, him. Oh, the way he makes a miss and everything, it's fantastic. The way he can read a fighter, it's unbelievable. He reads them better than anybody. But then he stops and he goes back to one thing, knocking them out. And that's how he gets his knockouts. Now I've got to rebuild him back and say, right, we're going back to the beginning now. What's the first thing you said to me this morning? When I go back to the gym, I want to do what?
12 rounds.
No, but what did you say you wanted to do? You said you wanted to work on my movement.
Oh yeah, 12 rounds movement.
Yeah.
Just working on.
Because he says I want to just get back. I'm just going to go in the ring, shadow boxing for 12 rounds. Just like what Sugar Ray Robinson used to do. He says, all Sugar Ray Robinson used to do, stand in front of the mirror and do 15 rounds of shadow boxing. Okay. Yeah, and he said that's what I'm going to go back to doing.
First thing I said as soon as I woke up, I said I also want to go back to the gym. Can't wait to go back to the gym. My heels can't sweat because of my cut.
Oh, right, okay.
As soon as I go back in the gym, I'm just going to work on my movement, shadow boxing, keep moving my head, you know. And from the fight, I've learned. Listen, like my fitness is through the roof. You know what I mean. I was even saying to people, I still want to do this because I know that what I'm doing is what I need to do for me to be at the top of my game. I just need to tweak. I don't need to tweak things. Uncle Pat needs to tell me to do stuff, and I just need to work on it. You know what I mean? And you know, I'm excited. I'm excited to get back into training, but then, you know, the one thing that was with me was like I just felt like I've not won. You know what I mean?
Talk to me. We go back to that then.
Yeah.
You know, you finished the 12th round, 3 minutes done. You both called into the centre.
Yeah.
You're standing there. Talk me through what's going through your head at that point.
What's going through my head? I'm thinking. I'm looking at one of the guys nodding, saying, "Yes, you're okay." Like, what do you think? Because he's like, "Well, it was close." So I'm like, "Close," because I'm thinking I'm in the ring, so I'm throwing more punches, and I'm looking at Kiko's face, so I'm thinking close. So I'm looking, okay, he's on the conversation with saying, "I think you won, but it could be close because of the pressure." But he's doing all this like by talking with hands and that. So I'm like, So Pat just said, "Listen, you won that fight." That's all I needed to hear. My Uncle Pat said I won. I said, "Alright, cool." So I put my hand up like to say, "Yeah, I won." You seen Kiko do it? I thought, "I've won. I know I've won."
Yeah.
He said the scorecards. I thought, wow, it's a bit wide. It's a bit wide that. And then obviously announced that I won and whatever. And you know, and I'm still rolling with it. I know I won. It's just the fact of I just feel like my victory's been took away from me because of the scorecards and how people are approaching it. You know what I mean? And you know, we live in a world of social media. People have not even seen the fight, but they're still saying stuff because of what Tom's saying over there and what Harry's saying over there. You know, you got the genuine people that are genuine with their replies and with what they're saying. You know, you can respect that. But then because of the outcome of with the scorecards, it's not giving me the credit. I've won the fight. I've won. You know what I mean? I am not a judge. I'm a fighter. You know what I mean? I fight. I don't judge. I'm not a ref. I'm not a judge. I fight. I don't pick. The only time I decide if I win if I knock you out, because then I've won. No one can't tell me nothing. Judges around the ring, that's what they get paid for. That's what they're good at. We need judges. You know, so I'm getting stick for something.
That's what I was coming to.
I'm getting stick for something that's not my. It's not my.
It's out of your hands.
Out of my hands.
It's out of your
I'm
hands.
getting stick for something that's not my fault. I turned up to fight, dedicated my life to the sport of boxing. For this camp, trained so hard. It's not my fault. I'm there to do the best of my abilities. Yeah. So I'm getting stick for something that that's not in my hands. Yeah. I'm a fighter, you know. If I knocked him out, and then the judges said I lost, then you know it's a different scenario. But I won the fight. I believe I won the fight, and the judges believed I won the fight, even though how far it was, you know. So I'm getting the stick for something that's not my fault. I'm a fighter. I'm not a judge, you know. And people know that. It's just the world we live in, and everyone has a say in everything we do.
I don't think you're getting stick. I mean, the people are giving you credit, but I don't think you're getting stick. I just think people are just taking it, being a bit dramatic about.
That's the word. People are being dramatic.
People are being dramatic about the win. Oh no, you didn't win it like this. Oh, it was close. Yeah, it was. You know, you're not saying it wasn't a close fight. You got pushed. Yeah, and Kiko made you work, and he brought the best out of you. Yeah, you know, you wasn't trying to just run and survive. You was moving to create space to throw punches. People don't understand boxing, okay? People can be very opinionated, yeah, and not understand it, which is fair enough because they're all entitled to have an opinion, yeah. And you know, it's not going to phase you. It's not going to hurt you. It's not going to change your way of how you think, and it's not going to change your format of life. You're going to go back in the gym when it's time. You're going to be ready, and you're going to say, listen. Many kids like you wouldn't want to fight like that again because they had a tough fight. They leave most of the fight in that ring right there, and then the fight's left there where they've come out. They might come out as a person, but the fight's there. Yeah. So that's took so much out of them that if they go back in there again, they're going to get beat.
1,000,000%.
Yeah, but not you. Yeah, because of your ability, the way you think, the way you are, the way you can adapt, the way you can adjust. Yeah, you've got so much going on for you, and this is about you. It's not about Kiko, it's about you, yeah. You gave him the credit, but it's mainly about you now. This rematch is purely about you to prove to yourself that I'm ready for the next level. Even though I want to go European, after I knock Kiko out or beat Kiko or however I do it convincingly, I'm ready for the next level. Nobody can test you.
So our viewers then, you know, some questions that our viewers might ask. You went into this fight. You've had 2 previous offers and he was the 3rd opponent. You've been training in camp, then stopped, then back in camp again. And by no means, we're not making up excuses.
No, not at all.
Kiko is an experienced fighter, a former champion himself. You went into that fight 12 rounds. Were your belts on the line?
No belts. No, it was just a 12-round contest. 9 stone 4. You know, took a fight where a lot of people wouldn't have took. Yeah. A lot of people wouldn't have took a fight with nothing on the line, or they'd want something on the line. They'd want some sort of, well, if we win, we want this, because he's a dangerous opponent, and you know, we're not in this boxing game to kid people. Like, I'm here to believe that I'm the best, so we need to fight certain fighters on our journey to show that we're that fighter, you know what I mean? Because I can't be skipping a Kiko Martinez kind of fighter and going to the top, because then I just get beat.
You guys have always shown respect for your opponents. It's something that's quite common in the Black Flash camp. A few people have said continuously touching gloves after each round. What do you say to that?
That's just me. Listen, I still knock people out and I still put out a performance and I still hit people. You know, that's just the way it is. And if you watch the fight, I earned his respect because he touched my gloves. You understand? One time I come out, he went bam, because he must have realised, wow, he's a true professional, Kiko Martinez. He must have realised he's a good fighter, this guy. You know what I mean? Because, you know, I know in their camp, in their minds, he's going to wipe the floor with me within whatever rounds. Which they can think that because I'm not experienced like him. I've not been to the heights he's been at. You know what I mean? So, of course he's going to think that. But then people can say that, and that's their opinion. You know what I mean? But I'm a fighter. I get in the ring and I perform and I punch. So everyone can have a say in how they want to say it. But they're not fighters. You just watch it. You just watch us perform. Don't worry about what we do in the ring and how we do it, because this is why we fight. You know, I don't worry about how people talk outside the ring and how they present, because that's not my job. Yeah. You understand what I mean? Mm-hmm. So, you know, that's just me. That's what kind of character I am. And unless my Uncle Pat tells me not to do it because he's my coach, then I won't. Then I'll stop. Because, you know, he's guiding my career and whatever. But people's opinions don't matter to me. Do you think a lion cares about what a zebra thinks about him? No. Why? Because I'm a lion. And I'll eat you at any time, at any second, at any chance I want to. So I'm not bothered what people think, or why are you touching gloves, or why are you doing that? Because I want to. It was different when I knocked my last guy out and I'm still touching gloves. What's the... So people, we live in a world of opportunists. People like to pick and choose and say stuff at certain times when they feel like they can get one up.
Boxing is a fickle sport.
Come on, man, it is. Listen, everyone loved Anthony Joshua. When he got beat, everyone hated him.
Just like that.
I wouldn't say they hated him, but it's
No, not hating him, but
yeah.
Say that, but didn't hate him. They wanted to criticize him.
Yeah, it's just the way that people turn, and this what I said to him. This is before social media come out. You used to have like the writers and all the papers, and I used to always say, the press, they make you and they break you. Yeah, so you got to make sure that when you form, you're a solid fighter. You don't need the press, and you don't need I told them about the social media thing many times ago. Mm-hmm. You don't need this because you got 50,000 people liking you, but they're not respecting you. The minute that tumbles, them kind of 50,000 people are going to be the ones that are talking shit to you. You know what I mean? And I don't like that, me. I don't like that, because if I've got 50,000 people on my social media, 50,000 people are going to be respecting me because of what I'm doing. Just like now, as a coach, as a trainer, and as a promoter, and setting up this Black Flash boxing channel. It's not for me. It's for the fighters that have come to present themselves. So I get solid respect for what I'm doing. I'm not putting stupidness out. I don't care about all this lot. But I care for how I promote these kids that will never get the chance. How did they get a profile? Who's going to give them a chance and opportunity? Me. This is why I've got kids coming from every angle. Unfortunately, I can't do it. He's saying to me, Pat, you're going to have too many kids in the gym. And my things, I've got him and I've got Lyndon. And they're my main priority because they're up there. And I've got the kids that I've got, 7, 8 kids, no more. Yeah, no more signings, no more. If they say, can you promote me and can you manage me, I'll say yes. But if they say, can you train me, I'll say no. Because it's hard work being a trainer.
It's like a jungle in the gym, man.
And it's like bringing 7 kids up and being a single parent. That's exactly what it's like. And it's too hard and too stressful. And I've got a daughter, a little girl. Do you know what I mean? Where she needs to spend time with her dad. And I've got daughters myself that are still like my little girls that need to spend time with. So I'm drowning in work.
And you've just become a father yourself. Congratulations.
Thank
Sorry,
you.
I should have mentioned that earlier.
Thank you.
So you know that responsibility now. So speaking to your fans, or boxing fans in general, in relation to the Kiko Martinez win, what would you like to let your fans know about that fight as such? We've covered quite a bit, but a final message so we can draw a line under this and we can move on and look forward to planning that rematch.
My final message is there's going to be a rematch. I'm excited for the rematch, and we'll see the result come rematch again. When I fight Kiko Martinez again, take nothing away from him. Solid fighter, solid champion. We will see. We'll see the same. We'll see if people are still singing off the same hymn sheet. You know what I mean? And that's not me being abrupt. It's me believing in myself and my abilities. I know I won the last fight. I didn't win it by a big margin, but I won the last fight. Around the 2. I watched it back without no commentary, silent, and I analysed it straight away, twice. You know what I mean? And I seen what I need to do, what me and Uncle Pat need to work on, and just little things. But the rematch, I'm excited for the rematch. This is what I want. I personally want it for me.
I just hope that Eddie can do what he says. And as I spoke to him on the Sunday, the following day after the fight, he said he had the rematches on. I just hope that he can do what he says and deliver the rematch, as he said, because, you know, there's always a lot of gas in what people say and what they do are two different things. Yeah, it's what the fans want to see. It's what he wants. It's what Kiko wants. So in boxing, you have to do what people want and require. And, you know, hopefully the crowds will be back on. This fight could be in Manchester and it can be staged.
It's a big fight, man. It's a main event. Like,
and hopefully we can put a title on this now and, you know what I mean, and stop messing about. Let's get it on.
Risk versus reward.
100%. It's just, I don't even know. I just want the fight, just for me. You know what I mean? And then, you know, we move from there. A lot of fighters will probably be like, nah, you won. I won. Don't need to fight him again because he's that much of a handful. Well, I'm not saying that. I'm like, okay, I'll fight you again because I'm not scared.
Because you don't have to.
You don't have to listen,
have a rematch.
I don't have to fight this guy again. You know, I got moved to rank number 2 in Britain now. I've always be featherweights. If only Carl Frampton's in front of me. Like, I don't have to fight this guy again. I can be like, a lot of fighters have done this where they've had a fight, close fight, they won, but they're like, nah, he's a handful. Him, not fighting him again.
Yeah.
That's not me. I'm like, okay, I will fight you again. I want to fight you again. You know, it's a challenge. Of course I want to fight you again. You know, that's not my mentality. That's not the way. That's not why I'm in this boxing game for. Because once I beat him, I beat anyone.
Well, it says a lot about your character. Because, like you said, you won the fight. You're saying it was close yourself, a round or two, but you won the fight. Kiko, I think, has done a recent interview, and he states that he won all 12 rounds of the fight. Have you got anything to say about that?
Listen, he can think that because he started fighting. Of course he can think that because he comes forward. He probably feels like, I'm doing the work, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. You know, of course he's going to think that he's a fighter, he's a proud man. You know, there's nothing to take that away from him. But, you know, that's his opinion. And he can think that. And I respect it. I respect that because of how he worked and how he's putting pressure on.
Yeah.
But, you know, he probably was in his emotions as well, which he probably was. Was it straight after the fight?
Yeah, more or less.
Exactly. So he would have been feeling a certain way. You might watch it back, and you know, his opinion might change, or it might keep the same, which is irrelevant. But you know, I still respect what he said.
Well, he contradicted himself. He says he won all the rounds, and then he did say, "Nah, well, you know, Zelfa might have won a few rounds, but he won the fight." And it's all based on one thing because of the controversy of the scorecards. Yeah. It was ridiculous. Yeah, so of course he's going to be thinking, I won the fight. And if he would have said, and like I said, if it would have been a split or by 2 rounds, he couldn't probably have argued. He could have just said, well, obviously he was throwing a lot of punches out for, yeah. And like you said before, it would have been down to like the punch stats
landed.
Yeah, then it would have been a different. You know what I mean? Because
have you seen any stats?
No,
I seen some mad stats about on Twitter of whatever, but then it wasn't accurate. It wasn't right because if you was to get the punch stats up and probably how many punches landed and how many punches got through, you know what I mean? It'll be different because the one I think was seen was like jabs and power. And I think to himself, he only threw 4 or 5 jabs in a fight anyway. This guy, I don't recall him throwing his so.
It'd be interesting to see the punch stats.
It would.
Because that may, I don't know, assist the scoring. Because, you know, the audience, the fight fans, some people are saying, yeah, he did win, Zelfa won. It was a close fight, but Zelfa won. But then you've got others that are saying, no way did he win that fight, etc., etc. So I'm saying with the stats, it would be good to see them because then it's there in black and white. How many punches thrown, how many punches landed, and the percentage ratio, which gives a fair view of how the fight actually went, not taking into account the commentary as such.
That's why when I watch fights or when I watch my fight back, you turn the commentary off because a word can sway you, things can sway you. A commentary can say something, oh, Zelfa's backpedaling, can you keep this up, whatever. Where that's just the way I fight. And so when you watch the fight with no commentary, it's a total different fight. You know, when you watch any fight with no commentary, because sometimes you get swayed. Oh, what a beautiful jab. I might have only threw one jab, but the couch might have threw 5 jabs. But because they said Zelfa Barrett just threw one beautiful jab, you're only aware of that one beautiful jab, and you've kind of not acknowledged the other 5. Exactly. So when you watch a fight, I love to watch fights. Sometimes I watch it with no commentary, no nothing. Done it with the Goffin fight and Canelo, the first fight. Watched it back, no commentary, no nothing, like, because then you're not took away by no one's opinion, by what people are saying, by what the commentary is saying. You're just focusing on the fight, and then you have your own opinion. But you have your own opinion, and you're like, all right, well, you know what I mean? Because you need to be swayed. If this walls are white and some say it's cream, you might think, you know what, just look a bit cream, you know. It just it's like a seed planted in your head. So, you know, I watched it back with no commentary, and I know what I know, you know, and you know, we keep saying all this at the end of the day, and it's all said and done. I've got the decision, and I won the fight. I won the fight, you know. So, you know, I'm ready for the rematch. You know, I'll rest up, make sure my face is healed and my cut's healed and whatever. And then, you know, we'll go back in the gym. We're just gonna work, man, and be ready for the rematch. It will happen. The rematch will happen. People want to see it. You know, it's a fight people want to see through the scorecards. You know, that's the biggest factor of people want to see it. You know, like my Uncle Pat has done it. If the scorecards had been winning by 2 rounds, would there be a rematch? No. Let's be honest. Because everyone be like, it was a good fight, it was tough, you won the fight by whatever, you'll learn from this fight, on to the next. But because the cards were so wide, it's something been added to it now, where I could guarantee it, if the scorecard wasn't that wide, then I won. Nobody would be at to making a big sing and dance for the fight. It'd be like, oh, you top fight, good fight, you boxed it well the other day, this, that, the other. Because the scorecards were so wide, you know, it's put a bit of a spanner in my win. And, you know, no disrespect to Kiko, he come out and fought and deserved more credit than what the scorecards give me. You know what I mean? He deserved more credit than that because he was in the fight. You know, I'm saying it, you can look at my face and whatever. Like, I'm being honest with you, like, he was in the fight, but, you know, I know I won the fight, and number 2, it will happen. It will happen, and now we'll see people still singing off the same hymn sheet. We'll just see. You know, we'll definitely see that.
Yeah, well, we definitely look forward to the rematch. Pat, is there anything else from yourself?
No, I mean, like I said, you know, Zelfa knows what he took from this fight. He learnt a lot about himself, and he takes it back to the drawing board. And you know, he just needs to get past about what people are thinking and what people are saying. It's not really a controversy. It doesn't really change his career. It doesn't change anything. Just focus on what the next step is, and the next step is the rematch. And when it does come, just be ready for it, and that's it, really. I mean, he's said everything. He's been honest. And what I mean by he's been honest, he says it was a closer fight than he expected. He was shocked with it. Not the shock that he got the decision. He was shocked at the margin of it. Do you know what I mean? He was thinking, wow, was I doing something that really good?
That's what I looked at Uncle Pat, I have to say.
Yeah,
Huh?
no, I did see that.
So it's like, obviously, I mean, and like I said, people have got their own verdicts of what they're saying about the robbery in boxing, but robbery in boxing means that Zelfa didn't get the decision.
That means I lost.
And he lost.
And they give it me.
And it wasn't a robbery. It wasn't a robbery. What it was a just disgusting decision. That's what I would say, a disgusting point margin decision. Because Kiko, you know, won at least 5 rounds, 6 rounds. I mean, it wasn't like what they said. It wasn't unanimous, and even I would say that, because I thought to myself, this fight is close. Yeah, and I said it to Zelfa, this fight is close. And that's why Zelfa had to change the way he was boxing and start being a little bit more busy and start letting his hands go a little bit more and stop the going back and started to push Kiko back a little bit. So he did change it, and he did change it to say, I was behind and I've come back forward. It's like a race, and now I'm just about took over. Yeah, and that's exactly what he did do. He just about took over to just about steal the fight. There you go. But on that note, that margin, so again, we're back to square one, and we keep coming back to square one, that the decision was, the margin was too big, and this is why it's caused the rematch. But not because Kiko wants a rematch, it's because we want the rematch. Because as it was a good test for Zelfa, and for each fight you take from a fight, the key to what you take from a fight is what you learn from either that win or from that lose or whatever it is. As long as you come away and you take something from every fight that you've had, then that means you're improving without a doubt for every bout you're going to go into again. And that's what Zelfa does. He improves throughout every fight he goes into. The only thing now, me as a trainer and as an uncle, I've got to sit down to him and say, you've got to stop doing what you're trying to do. Yeah, and stop trying to go out there and knock people out, because that's not going to work for you. As you can see, it makes you look shabby. It makes you look flat. It makes you look reckless. It makes you look, you get caught too many times. It takes away your ability, because you know how not, you're sacrificing your ability for your punching power. Yeah. And when you don't get that punching power and you can't time it, you become frustrated, because in your eyes, you're thinking that you've had this many knockouts, but what you're simply forgetting is how you had these knockouts. You create knockouts from birth. You set them up. You go in the gym and you're working on little things that people can't see. And when you're ready, you sprinkle that little magic dust and you create something clinical. And you're not doing that no more. You're trying to give people this excitement, this thing that you're going to forever looking for, and you're never going to find it. So this is where now he understands it. He can relate to what I'm saying. He knows that I'm not being cynical. He knows that I'm not being judgmental. He knows that I'm being correct, because I've been the one who's trained him from day one, being an amateur. We've always gone into fights with a plan, and our job is to stick to that plan. We've never not changed it. He's changed it himself. Not with my knowledge. He says, yeah. Next thing, he'll hurt someone, automatically I'll knock him out. And then he ends up going 12 rounds. And then you're not knocking him out. Where if he boxes clever, he sets him up, does what he normally does, he doesn't have to go 12 rounds.
Anything else from yourself, Zelfa?
Nothing. I feel like I've said what I've had to say, you know, and I'm just going to keep doing me, keep smiling, and be ready for the rematch.
The thing is, he's happy, he's still here, you know, it could be worse. You know, a lot of kids get knocked out, a lot of kids get hurt. I mean, he's only got a couple of marks on his face, and that's the name of the game, that's the job. You know what I mean? So.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you for tuning in to the Black Flash Boxing channel. I'm Abs from October Red, and we'll see you soon.